Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany, and today I'm going to share with you the items I purchased for 4th of July sale. And first box is going to be all about Endlesspens. They are one of my to-go pen shops, as they have some of the most greatest deals, and you get the rewards for being a member. So I picked up a few items. This is the first thing that was sitting on top of the box. Okay, so these are all the things I picked up, and let's start with this one. This is a Kakimori product, and I decided to pick up the Sakura wood pen rest. Really pretty, actually quite surprisingly lightweight. I thought it was going to feel more like a paperweight. It's not. It's very lightweight. Like, I could toss this around. It's not going to break anything if I just drop it. But I do like the little dip in here. I think I can hold more than one fountain pen. So I wanted it to be able to hold some of my fountain pens that are sitting on my desk. And yes, I can hold more than one fountain pen. This one, my platinum, is quite big and girthy. So if I had something a little bit smaller, could I potentially put 3 pens on here? I guess I could. Not bad. Okay. So that was, I think I will just stick with 2. I'll put this in the corner. So that was the first item. The second item is ink. And I didn't want to go overboard. There was actually a few inks I had been looking at, and I initially had in my cart, but I took it out just because I do have a subscription to Atlas Stationery for their ink subscription where you get full bottles, and I didn't want to start buying a lot more ink bottles when I'm already paying for some and I might get duplicates. So I decided to just stick with one. This is Whiskey, and it's by Robert Oster. And let's test it out. So we'll use my water brush. We'll be using my other water brush, which is a lot more cleaner. And this one appealed to me because I did get a sample of Robert Oster's Detox, and this is part of that color story. And I saw this color and I thought it looked really pretty in the swatch. Now that I'm looking at it, it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's a lot warmer than I thought it would be. Okay, in this pen form, it's not so bad. It seems like it would have really good shading, so I'm excited to see how it looks in a fountain pen. Okay, so next is the Momento Magico collection, which I want to say is one of my favorite collections of Leonardo. and they were having a mega deal on their Leonardo pens. So they were already discounted, and then with their 20% off, it was even more discounted. And it comes in this clamshell box. You have some information about the pen and then warranty. And this is the pen. So this is in the stainless steel. And I decided to get the matte color. Which I can already tell is going to get a lot of marks on it because of the because of whatever I have on my hand. So oils is definitely going to get some marks in it, and already I have marked it up with my hand oils. But I do like this matte. It has a little bit of texture to it, somewhat. So if you are a texture person, really iffy about textures, maybe not for you, but it's really subtle. It's not, I don't think it's anything too overwhelming, but that's just because I don't have an issue with textures. And you get the ink window, and then it's a gold. It has the gold accents, which is what I wanted. Usually with Leonardo's, you can decide on the type of accents you want: gold, silver, rhodium, and rose gold, I think. And I decided to get a stub nib. So this is going to be interesting. I forgot that the stub nibs are super flat, and I feel like you are at risk of having a stub nib have some baby's bottom. So that's something I kind of forgot about until I looked at the nib just now. But hopefully it's not over polished and it will write well. So I think what I'm going to do is ink this one up with whiskey so that we could see some of that shading in the ink. So I'm going to set this over here. Let's put it right here. And let's open the last item. So this is Fine Writing International Fountain Pen. This is the Scepter series Poseidon. And it's an Endlesspens exclusive. It's piston, and I got it in the fine. So the color is okay. It doesn't have a lot of depth to the material. It just seems like everything is on the surface. And the blue and orange is, I think the orange is a little flat. I would have liked a prettier orange, but let's see. So this one does have an ink window here, and I got it in the fine. It has a logo on the nib that says FON. I thought I got the other one. So there was a vacuum and then there was a piston. And I thought I got the vacuum filler and not the piston. But that's okay. This was also... I do like how it twists on and off. You have to push in just a little bit, and then you could see the logo at the top. Okay, friends, so let's take a closer look at these two pens and how they write. I have them sitting in the pen rest, so you can sit at least two pens in the pen rest. I have my Paper Chess Designs Hobonichi Week size notebook. And so I'm gonna jump over here. So this one, my Leonardo, has the whiskey ink in it. And for majority of my entries, I've been writing horizontally or working my way from the bottom of the paper to the top. So today is Monday. And let's zoom in a little. It's July 3rd. So with the stub nib, you get thick downstrokes and thin side strokes. So I do like how the ink pools on the edges of the writing. And so this is my so it's not overly smooth. There's like a hint of feedback. And it's not a Momento Zero. It is a Momento Magico. And this one is the black matte. So you can see when it's first on there, it's really wet. It's actually coming out pretty wet. And then as it dries, it's a little more subdued. And then it has like this edging, which is hard to see in the camera, but I'm sure many of you can understand when I'm talking about how like there's shading and then the edges of your letters are darker. I love that, and I love when a color can do that. So I think that this color may just grow on me since it's not necessarily a color I would normally choose, as I usually like to write with cooler colors. Stub, I haven't purchased a stub nib in a long time. And I'm reminded why, just because there's like no tipping on the nib. And yeah, so I don't have many stub fountain pens, but I kind of wanted to change it up. So I'm okay with having a stub, but I'm glad I have other Leonardos that have different nib sizes. So this is a stub, and it's black matte. We have stub and we have gold trim. So it seems like maybe it's catching when I write from right to left. I don't know if that's because the tines may not be exactly right. I have to look at it under a loop. But you can see how the line goes really thin. Oh, this is really smooth. And this is okay. So, yeah, I mean, this fountain pen, I do like the pen body. The nib is something I probably, won't always gravitate towards. So, shame on me for getting a stub nib. I should have got like a medium or a broad. Okay, so the next pen, I inked it up with a sample ink that I received from when I did the ink swap. So this is the Vinta Tubataha. And I really like the way that this feels. It's super polished, very smooth. And we all know I like very smooth fountain pens. I feel like it would be comfortable. The body's interesting. I like how it tapers, it like flares out a little bit towards the edges of the pen body. Okay. This actually writes really nice. It is a fine. And the body's pretty comfortable, even though the nib is more, it's a little bit thinner, but it's actually really comfortable overall. There's like nothing but smoothness all the way down the barrel, so nothing gets all weird right here on the web of my hand. Fine. Fine writing, international. Yeah, so this is really comfortable. And I'm not sure this is like, is this a regular Yovo nib? I know it's steel. And this one is called Scepter series. Poseidon. Piston filler. In the fine nib. All right. So I'm actually surprised at how much I'm enjoying this one and writing with the fine. The fine is actually quite smooth and the barrel is very comfortable to hold. I don't know what nib they used in these pens, but it feels like it kind of bounces a little bit. I don't know. And this one also was writing great. It does have like a certain sweet spot. Otherwise, you start to nick the edges of the stub. Not really sure what I was thinking getting a stub. I'm sure I would have been a little bit more happier if I got either a fine, medium, large, or broad. And then the ink. The ink is really pretty after it dries. Like as you're writing with it, it seems kind of like a basic orangey color. But once when it dries, you could see You can see some of the shading and where the light and dark hit on the letters and how the dark actually pulls to the edge of the letters. So it's really pretty. All right, that's all I have to share with you today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you for spending some of your time with me today. Bye. Hey everyone, so it's been about 5 days and I have been writing with both of the pens. Let me grab the other one. We have a little man here on me. So how do I feel 5 days later? This one still writes really good. I'm really impressed with this. The barrel and color could be, improved upon. And I forgot to mention that the finial has that crown, and then also even on this side the crown is there, so that was interesting. You do have to push it in to twist the cap back on. And then for my Memento Magico, which I keep forgetting and getting it wrong every time I'm writing and using this pen, I'm still just up in the air. And I think the color of the ink, which is something that's kind of out of my comfort zone, doesn't help. So when I'm done using that ink, I need to ink it up with some of my favorite colors, which would be like a purple, a blue, or a green, to see really how I feel. I will say that the ink I put in this is writing like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And you could see that sheen. Oh, it's gorgeous. And it's really juicy ink, like it flows really well out of this pen. And this pen has a really nice balance without the cap. I do also like the view of the ink and how the ink doesn't fill up the whole space. It's just right in the middle. I think that's pretty cool. And it's not clogging with that sheen. So it's writing really well. I feel like it's pretty well balanced, and it does not post, which is something I forgot to mention. Plus, when there's no hard starts with that pen, as soon as I uncap it and start writing with it, it just performs really well. Now, same with my Leonardo. It does perform pretty well. The ink, after I haven't written with it for a while, starts dark and then lightens up, which is just, it's not really the pen, it's more of the ink itself. I am still just up in the air because I keep forgetting that the stubs don't have much tipping on it, so I don't think I can really get a different nib size with the nib smith. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It's just a meh, and that's just because of the nib. But the body of the pen, the matte, is really sleek design. I really like it. As long as I don't have any like oils on my hands, I don't have to worry about like prints getting on it. And plus the prints rub out really easily. So I don't even see prints on here anymore. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. And really the only reason I'm thinking about it is because of the nib. The nib is what has me like meh. Because overall, I mean, you buy a pen to use it, to write with it. And so writing with my stub has just got me kind of like meh. So yeah, I'm still trying to decide if I want to keep this pen or return it or sell it. Well, I can't return it now, but I can sell it and get another one in a different nib size. Or I think I can replace the nib. I think they sell Leonardo nibs. I didn't think about that until now, which is ridiculous of me. But yeah, so anyway, I'm still feeling unsure about this pen, and that's just because of the nib. Example of that in the color is this one, and you could see the shading. The shading is really nice, but again, the color is just, not one of my top favorites, and so that's that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll catch you next video.